Welcome back, everybody. It is Vlad coming at you here on the 22nd of July 2022, making a fresh new video today on Volt Inu. So, getting right into it, I'm not your financial advisor. This is just my opinions, perceptions, ambitions of possible things to come. If you want to click right on their link tree, essentially, it'll take you over, and they've got lots of different links here that you can go check out. We'll start off with their website, essentially. Right here at the top, as you can see, Volt is trading on both the ETH and BSC chain, and they've got different links respectively for those pools. If you want, you can go over here and check it out. Their wrapped ETH pool on Dex Tools, total liquidity 2.86 million, 24-hour volume, shows you the total pooled ETH there, essentially almost 11,000 holders. Let me go ahead and mute this here, make sure I don't have any background noise. I forgot about that. We've got their Etherscan over here as well. Shows you holders, transactions, max supply of tokens, the contract address, all that's over here if you want to check that out. They've got their BNB side of things also. So this is the wrapped BNB side of things. It looks very similar to the wrapped ETH. If you want, you can take a look here. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole chart. Going back over here, let's look at ETH 2. So as we look here at the current price point of Volt on the wrapped ETH side of things, you can see back in the 20s, April 25th or so. So back in April, there was a parabolic just takeoff of this coin right after it launched, because they launched on the 16th. So yeah, 10 days after launch, boom, took off and then came back down because of the markets, obviously. Right now, with everything going on in the world, with the inflation rates, it's just, there's no confidence right now in crypto. There's no confidence in anything. And so for you to look at your investments and worry, I mean, you can't really do anything about it, obviously. You can't control what's going on in the world. And so the best thing to do right now for projects like Volt, if you haven't already, check them out. If they are a solid project, and after you've done your due diligence and you've researched them, if you think that it's a good project to invest in, now is a perfect opportunity. As you can see, their price point starting off, I mean, came right up, and then you're almost back to that starting price point. It's not, exact, but it's not too far off. They were at 503 5 for the high over here, and then it's come back down to 501. So definitely, like I said, good point to enter on this project if you have not already. And like I said, do your research on them. Don't take my word for it. Moving right along, they've got their white paper, essentially. Let's cover their website a little bit more before we do that, I guess. Volt can be traded on 29 different centralized exchanges, as they have listed some of them here. There's lots of different ways you can get your hands on this. Volt is a hyper-deflationary token whose aim is to invest in multiple asset classes, such as NFTs, nodes, altcoins, staking, farming of stable coins, so on and so forth. This investment diversity allows to mitigate the risk while taking advantage of the possible non-correlated growth of the trending assets. Since it's intended to be hyperinflationary, profits made on treasury investments are then used to buy back and burn Volt tokens. In addition, there's this mechanism, essentially, we'll say 4% on BNB, 2% on ETH, that automatically burns. And the merger of these mechanisms, essentially, what that allows to do is, as the price rises steadily over time, because you're getting rid of the circulating supply. What we have down here is your white paper, ETH, and BSC audit reports. You can check those out. We've got the white paper pulled up. I'll let you click on the other ones if you're interested in checking out those audit reports. The roadmap down here, stage 1 through stage 4, kind of shows you where they're headed and kind of what they have completed. I don't know that they have 50,000 holders per se. That one is probably shouldn't be ticked off. I think they have around 25,000 between the BSC chain and the ETH chain combined, but they're getting there. They're over stage 3 for sure. On holders. Down here, tokenomics, 1% reflections on ETH side, 2% burn, and liquidity for that. It's split versus on the BSC chain, it's just 4% burn. You've got marketing and development and treasury also at 4% here. On the BSC side, it's basically the same thing. Just like I said, the burn is split between 2% liquidity and automatic burn on the ETH side. community donation wallets. So as requested by the Volt Army community, there are some donation wallets to some people that they've elected. And so if you are interested in that, you can donate to those wallets. Okay, so moving right into the white paper. And as you can see over here, kind of short, only 5 pages, so not much to cover here. I won't read it all verbatim or anything, but as we've already covered, it's a hyper deflationary token whose aim is to invest in multiple assets. And what they're also going to do is have a swap, essentially, and that swap is what's really, I think, the bread and butter for Volt. On that swap, it's going to be accessible to any DeFi project they have listed here, and they're going to be using existing liquidity pools. And so what it'll allow them to do is to take a project like Shiba Inu, for instance, and instead of like them not really having an automatic burn built into the token, as it's traded on this particular exchange, it will be deflationary. And so that pool, as time goes on, the floor price will rise due to the shrinking supply, just like we talked about a minute ago. So that's, like I said, probably their bread and butter, in my opinion, at this moment for what I've seen out of their utility. They've got Launchpad, partnerships along the way, CryptoCart, Everrise, I'm sure you've probably heard of, Shopping.io, OK Let's Go, Elon, Wolverine. There's lots of projects that they have partnerships hopefully coming in the works here, and as those develop, those could be very big catalysts for them as they progress. They've got their PDE racer game, for those utility cases and stuff, automated social activity rewards, NFT ecosystem. They've got the swap and the launchpad. So if you look at like the NFT ecosystem, for instance, among others, the NFTs will be directly linked to the Volt token, and basically you have to hold the NFT in order to use them in combination, or the NFTs in combination with the token to get access to the launchpad. And so it's kind of like it incentivizes you to hold both and then rewards you for holding both. There's lots of things they built in there, like weekly rewards, and if you burn some of your Volt, you're going to be qualifying for bonuses, so on and so forth. So they've definitely got a few things in the work to kind of help incentivize trading and people to kind of get a competitive pool going and stuff like that. So lots of different things that they are planning on doing with that project there. This is one of the things that is getting ready to come out here before too long, that you should probably take a look at. Their Volted Dragons Sailor Club, which is their NFT collection of over 10,000 3D Volted Dragons sailing around the world to find their club. You can check out their official collection over here, and they've kind of got the same links on this one as they do on their other page, essentially. But pretty cool looking stuff, and there's going to be 10,000 different unique ones essentially that you can purchase. So make sure, come over, check out the Volted Dragon Sailor Club NFTs if you haven't had a chance. Telegram community over here, if you are interested, you can go and join them on Telegram. So that basically kind of covers most of what I wanted to talk about today. Kind of just gave you a rough overview of the project, what they are, and where they're headed. And I do believe that this project could be a very good investment, and it's, like I said, we showed you here on the DEX tools right now. It's a very good time to get in, so make sure, like I said, not your financial advisor, you do your own research. If you think this is a good investment for you, it's like Russ said for Saitama, if you don't have the money to take it outside and set it on fire, don't invest it. You know, you need to pay your bills, you need to do whatever first, and then whatever you have left over, if you've taken care of everything else, invest some of it. But you don't want to overinvest into one specific project. Me, for instance, I'm a holder in Saitama, Impact XP, Terrarium, Shaman, Doge, or I had some Doge. I think I got rid of it finally, but baby Dogecoin. I mean, I'm all over the place on the ETH chain and on the BSC chain. So make sure that you are diversified in your investments. Just my opinion, and pretty much every other financial person that knows anything about investing. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. That phrase is there for a reason, and it only takes one catalyst for something to just tank, and then you've lost it all. Versus if you've got diversification, if one project goes, you're not necessarily out. So make sure that you do your research, know who you're investing in. You want to make sure that those projects are transparent. The developers are people that you can trust. You know who they are. You've seen their faces. You know what their roadmap is. You know what their plan is for the future, so on and so forth. You don't want to be giving your money away to people that you don't know who they are. And if they have a really crappy looking roadmap that just doesn't really have much direction, you don't see much utility in that project, you can almost guarantee that they will be a pump and dump. Because if you want to invest into a project in crypto at this point that is going to make you some money, you need to choose one that has longevity. And longevity is all about the use case, all about the utility. If they have none, then it's just going to be like the dot-com era. Back in the 90s, you had tons of companies that popped up. And I mean, everybody was just, oh, buy it up, buy it up, buy it up. And then slowly, not too slowly, everybody started to realize these companies that we're investing into, they're not doing anything with that money. They have no utility. Like, how is this company going to survive in the future? And so you started seeing just massive sell-offs, and those companies didn't make it. I mean, you had eBay, Amazon, companies like that survived. But in the grand scheme of things, for every one that was successful like that, you probably had 50, 100 that failed. And so that's what we're seeing now with crypto, is a market correction. And it's not just all of crypto. Essentially, you have to look at what's going on in the entire world. You've got a war over with Russia and Ukraine. We've got all sorts of inflation issues. We've got the COVID pandemic that's still, ravaging the world. There's a lot of different things that are causing not just, the crypto markets to suffer, but the stock markets, basically everything at this point in time. People are unsure of the future. And so when people are unsure of that, they don't want to take and spend their money on something that might be a risk. People are much less likely to take a risk on an investment during times like these. So, been great talking to you. If you have any questions for me, make sure you leave those down below in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure that you do like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll try and get you some content out as quickly and timely as possible, I guess you could say. I've been kind of away for a little while, had some computer issues. I built this PC back in December, and I mean, I literally spent like top dollar on everything, and the graphics card that I bought didn't even last 3 months. I had to send it back in. They sent me a replacement that was actually bad also, so I had to send that one back. And that process, it's been grueling. Like 3.5, 4 months I've been without a graphics card essentially, and just not really something you expect whenever you spend like over $1,600 on a graphics card. I mean, it's an AMD Radeon 6900 XT. It's not a crap card. It's pretty much the best AMD card you could buy at the time. So I'm not sure what happened, but I'm back, and so here I am. All right, guys, I will catch you on the flip side.